welcome back to another episode of Cinema D'Amore. I'm your host, Chuck, joined by
Justin.
And we're back. I get to go this time. You had two in a row. You finally let me talk about a movie.
And then
this time we're talking.
You'll have two in a row.
Yeah.
Gotta make it fair.
I guess it's fair. Yeah. But yeah, this time we're talking about a good old Western. You know, it's a little bit of a horror Western horror, however you want to put that. But yeah, Bone Tomahawk.
Earns its name.
Yeah. That weapon is featured multiple times by multiple characters, killing everybody.
It's a prominently featured weapon. What is a bone tomahawk? You will find out. I mean, they're actually kind of funny because they pretty much just look like jawbones, and they don't really look like they would hurt people the way that they do, but use your imagination.
Yeah, this is what we say, like 11 years ago, 2015 this came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's got I mean, a pretty decent cast. I mean, mostly it's pretty much all character actors and then Kurt Russell. But I mean, you know, interesting that they got Kurt Russell for such a low budget movie. Like, feels like he was probably working for free on this. Maybe just because he clearly does love Westerns.
It was very low budget. I know the first accountant that was worked on this, and I think like even the accounting team was like 2 people or 3 people or something, very, very low. And it blows my mind because I would say most of the cast is recognizable as either by name or they're a character actor that you recognize them in something else.
Yeah.
More known than unknown for what it was.
For as low of a budget movie as it is, it's when it starts out, you get Bill Moseley and David Arquette, and you're like, okay, those guys are like low budget, like
Sid Haig.
Or Sid Haig. I always switch their names around. You get the 2 of them in the beginning, and you know they're low budget guys. You don't expect, you're like, okay, this is like a straight to DVD level with these actors. And then when they get to the main town, it's just Richard Jenkins, Matthew Fox, Patrick Wilson, Kurt Russell. It's like everyone just keeps popping up. You're like, I mean, I know who all these people are. They're all like fairly notable actors. That a lot of them are like award-nominated actors for their work. So it's like, yeah, it is surprising that they got all these guys onto this movie for. Like I said, I assume most of them are working for pretty much minimum actor pay by whatever the SAG scale is to work on the movie.
Right, and it makes me wonder why.
Why? Like, does that director, does he just really, really know people?
He has to. He knows this is his first movie that he directed, that he's credited for. He did some cinematography way earlier. And I see one little fact here about him working as a catering chef as he was writing scripts. So it looks like maybe he went to film school or started to do something for cinematography, couldn't break in, started doing catering work, probably in Hollywood. And then somehow, maybe I would like to think through his catering, that he's just being like, oh, I can do this Western, and he just has his reel from his, cinematography days, and he just sold these people. And like his filmography is not huge. I didn't see any of his other movies, but I have heard of Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn, and him and Vince Vaughn must have fucking hit it off because everything senses a Vince Vaughn movie.
Yeah.
Like, it says Dragged Across Concrete, which I feel like maybe I heard about as like some Grindhouse thing. He's in that. And then there's an upcoming thing that he's working on called The Bookie and the Bruiser. It's a Vince Vaughn movie.
Vince Vaughn. Yeah.
Also, all these movies look pretty stacked too. Like, I feel like the Brawl and the Cell Block one has, Don Johnson. Oh, wow. He reuses a lot of people. Don Johnson's in a couple. Udo Kier, who just passed away. Actually, in this, I should know his name, but I think of him as Mr. Principal Strickland is his name. James Tolkien.
Yeah.
He just recently passed away this year. And when I saw him laying on the piano, I was like, oh, holy hell. Chuck really does know how to pick them. He always picks a movie that somebody like is freshly dead. Although you might have picked, I think you picked this one after he died. I don't think that
Yeah.
this was your usual picking the movie and then the lead dies.
Just predicting their death.
But yeah,
There's I mean more trivia just because I'm going through the cast and trying to recognize any of the other names. The guy that plays the mayor he's the brother Corey Haim's character in Lost Boys. He's the other frog brother.
okay. I didn't recognize him at all. I probably wouldn't have recognized the pianist either as Strickland because they really don't show his face much at all. And
Yeah, you only see him from the side.
yeah, like even some things are really funny in this because like when it opens and it's Sid Haig and David Arquette, they have like terrible Western costumes. Like,
There's also like a continuity error where there's a shot where David Arquette he has like false teeth that are supposed to look like real bad, and then there's another shot where he's completely definitely it's his regular teeth. Like they went with it, and then he probably couldn't talk right, and they were like, just take him out, we won't use him.
yeah, his hat's like a weird fedora thing. And I
Also,
think
I didn't realize Sean Young is in the movie. She's the wife of the mayor. No, that's who's playing that character. He has
oh,
everybody.
because the last thing
He's
that I
got
think I've
everybody
really
with him.
seen her in looks like Blade Runner, where she was all CG'd, and
Yeah.
Ace Ventura. Oh yeah, her greatest role actually. If you're, you're gonna ask me. No, and like some of the other ones, like I was sure that the guy that played Deputy Nick was gonna be like the director or something because there were so many recognizable people, and I'm like, I don't know who the hell that guy is, and even he's in a lot of stuff. I don't know if it's more or less before or after this, but
Yeah. The guy that's the Native American that they call the professor, he's in Fargo and all sorts of
yeah,
stuff.
Zahn McClaren.
Like, yeah.
He is like the go-to Native American guy. He is fantastic in Fargo. He's actually usually very, very good in everything he's in. But
I
this,
mean, he's
he's
good in
like,
this. He's barely in it,
he does.
but he's good.
Yeah. I think I can't even remember because the shot had so many people in it. I almost want to say it's Matthew Fox, but somebody is vaguely racist, and he's like, "Hey, those aren't Native Americans; those are troglodytes."
Get it right. Yeah, it is weird. It's for being a tiny low budget western in a time when no one's making westerns, and the fact that they got all of these people to be in it again, pretty much seemingly for nothing for like a first time director is weird. But
Also, the stuff
it's
that
a
they are doing to these people seem
yeah.
rough. Like they are outside most of the time. I would assume maybe they drove them around by golf cart or something. But like the scenes
Patrick
where
Wilson maybe has the worst of it. He's always got to hobble around on that crutch and like fall over and roll down the hill like
yeah,
multiple
Patrick
times.
Wilson's crawling all over the ground. Richard Jenkins and Kurt Russell, they're being drug across the ground. And I mean, these are just the famous people because all the people that play the troglodytes are like continuously just naked, covered in dirt, and laying on the ground. They're just constantly
Yeah.
laying on the ground. Yeah, I don't know. This movie is, I think, maybe a better idea than how it's executed. I think that like partially like I think it's more impressive that it got made and has as many actors, as well known actors in it as it does. Mm.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the plot. The plot's like a very kind of old school western while having like he has like 80s horror that he clearly loves
Some
like that.
slasher type, yeah. Like it feels very much like I don't know, yeah. You definitely think of like Friday the 13th level, like the way the kills are shot.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And some of them happen so quickly. Like, I mean, the scene later in the movie where the one guy loses his hand, It's so quick. It's like I didn't even I knew he got attacked, but I didn't realize till his hand was laying there that it's like, oh yeah, he lost the whole thing. But yeah, he cuts off fingers, he cuts people in half, he rips in the bodies. It's actually surprising to me that I feel like, how did David Arquette's kill happen off screen? Where they're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because
they
you'd think they'd really stretch that and be like, oh yeah, let's get a real good kill with David Arquette.
and I mean, it's not perfect. It's like admirable because like there's a scene where Patrick Wilson's digging into this guy, and the minute he kills him and he's over top of him, it's not a very good looking puppet, but like it's still like I'll let it slide because it's like it's so, for the budget,
And
I'm
that's,
sure it's pretty good.
I mean, and for the most part, like I think the story's decent. It's a good update of you know the classic Western, like something like The Searchers. That's like the standard, person kidnapped by Indians, and the hero goes and saves her. So I do like kind of flipping it with like the professor character who is Native American, and is like, don't compare me to those things. They're not. You guys are always complaining about Indians. Like, those guys aren't Indians. They're way different than us. They're way worse. Like, even I wouldn't go near them. They're nothing like me. So yeah, I do like the good horror spin on something like that. The shot you're talking about, that's like the only thing in the entire movie that I feel like makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever, and like doesn't hold up, because it's like, even from the very beginning, when David Arquette and Sid Haig are out, and after they kill the guys, which it's a good setup that feels like they're supposed to be the villains of the movie, like they're murderous bandits that kill people, and then they get taken out immediately. Well, at least Sid Haig does it first, by the troglodytes, and then after everyone gets kidnapped. But they keep talking about like what's that sound? It's like it's really musical. Like, it's not just the wind. It's like making a very specific note. So it's like you eventually figure out, by the time Patrick Wilson's out there by himself, that you see that the troglodytes are making the sound, and that it's like a whistle that they communicate. And when he kills that one, and he sees the thing in its neck, and he goes, "What is that, jewelry?" And then he just rips that thing out of its neck, and then you see him play it like a duck call or something like that. And I'm like, how on earth would he have remotely figured out that that's what that was?
Yeah, there's a weird scene maybe 10 minutes before that where Matthew Fox hits the guy with his gun. You see like air puff out of the neck, but at that point you haven't had a really good look at the neck. So I just felt
Yeah,
like the guy got shot in the neck, I think, at that point.
it's like a samurai movie where they're like lone wolf and cub, where they're blowing the air out of the windpipe or something.
Yeah, like that's what that made me think of.
But even still, those are two completely, like, that's Matthew Fox. Like the viewer, we can figure out, oh yeah, that's the thing that they're clearly using to make a noise. Like, you can figure that out, but it makes no sense for how Patrick Wilson could possibly figure that out, because he's not even in that scene with Matthew Fox. They're in two completely different
Mhm.
sections of the movie. So it's like, when he cuts the thing out and puts it in his pocket, and then when he's just like crawling around, and he's like, I'll just put this in my mouth. And I'm like, why? Whoa, what?
Yeah, I do. I mean, and I like that scene too where he wants that kiss and Lily Simmons is like, "You just
You've been
had
putting
that
that thing
gross
in your
ass thing in
mouth.
your mouth." And he like
Yeah,
wipes his mouth. I mean, you
with a
still had
dirty,
crap
dirty
inside your
rag.
mouth.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh god. I mean, yeah, you have to suspend some disbelief for this because I don't know. They're savages, but they're very good at tracking apparently, and but they're also outsmarted by like dumb people sometimes. I don't, I'm like love hate the sound design. I don't really love the howling, like the sound that just generically sounds everywhere. And they're like they see us, but the thing sounds like it's alerting people from miles away. And I was like, they're just people. They don't have. I mean, they're not even like evolved into something else. like the creatures from The Descent. They are just like brutally savage human beings. But I one thing I did like, where I feel mixed about it, the sound design was really good, where you would hear the hero characters, like you would hear Patrick Wilson's like stuff jangling off of him, and you almost never heard the troglodytes. Like they popped up almost out of nowhere. And I really like that in the sound design, because it made them showing up very unsettling, that there was no indication that they were coming, or like how many of them that there were. I mean, they did do math in the middle of the movie to be like, there's 12 of them, and like, I mean, that's who she saw. Like, we don't really know. I think I'd have a hard time counting them if they were coming in and out, and all, basically being like covered in dust.
Most of them look the same, other than the one with like the tusks and the one with the bone mask.
Right.
The rest of them all look pretty much the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's weird to track like that, how they were capable of tracking down David Arquette and in that town and taking the people. I find that harder to believe than like the fact that there are these crazy savages out there that are cannibalistic and eating people. Apparently not like they took the woman for what? They didn't do anything to her, or at least they don't indicate that they did anything to her.
I mean, I guess it's probably implied that they were saving her. Like they say, yeah, I don't think she's like the only person they didn't seem to harm at all.
Yeah, and I mean, it has a lot of, I think, fun, although sometimes cartoonish, like, or I'll say like slapstick kind of stuff going on. I like when they try to poison him with the opium, and I don't know. She's the doctor. She's so smart, and she just sort of like pinpoints like exactly by watching them, being like, this guy's definitely dead. This one's gonna be sick. This one's not gonna be affected at all. And when they come back and they attack Kurt Russell and they cut him open with the Bone Tomahawk, and they shove, they have the flask that was sitting in the hot coal, so it's steaming hot, in his wound. I'm like, this is like insane. I also did like them cutting that dude in half, the deputy sheriff, and I do like that line where like Richard Jenkins' character and Kurt Russell, who I think are the most believable characters in this entire thing. But they make like Jenkins like very gullible at points, and I do like he's like, is that true?
Barney Fife.
Yeah. Is that true that people are going to come save us? No, I made that I made that up. Why would you make that up? So he would feel good as he was dying, like we were going to avenge him.
He gets that, and then he has the whole thing about the flea circus, and like, yeah, the wife has to be like, yeah, most people are fakes, but that was a real one, and he's like, I knew it. Like my wife said the fleas were dead and they were just glued to the pieces, but I knew that wasn't true.
They did do a good job of like picking the worst crew to go out and save these people, like two very old men, like
one guy with a broken leg,
and Matthew Fox, I guess, was supposed to be the most.
He's like the most accomplished, but he's also like too cocky, I guess.
He confuses me a little bit too, because like the character design isn't. He is definitely too cocky, but like he's wearing like a nice suit to go track these people down, and you would think for somebody that's just so on top of it, they wouldn't be so dressed, like they would be dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, I
he
think
goes fancy every time.
He's so fancy.
Which, I mean,
and
but
weird.
I feel like that it fits with like to say that like all the characters are like some of them are dumb or something like that. It does fit with Patrick Wilson's Mrs. O'Dwyer, his wife, who has like this whole speech. It's like, yeah, and you know what the problem is? Stupid men that don't know what they're doing and just stick their noses in things they shouldn't and get involved in things they shouldn't. Like, Like, because like kind of like going back to, I think like a little bit of the implication partially is that probably David Arquette would have just moved on from that town had they not interacted with him. Like he probably just would have got his drink and then eventually just drifted off, and the troglodytes might have just followed him somewhere else. Maybe they wouldn't have stayed stuck around with the town. But since he shot him, they got involved in it, got everyone kidnapped. Then it's like, then she's like, and you guys are stupid for letting my husband with a broken leg try to come out here, and like even when they're all in the prison cell, and he's like Richard Jenkins is like, don't worry, we left a path, we left a trail. And he's like, why would you do that? And he's like, so he could follow us. And she's like, so he could follow you on a broken leg to here.
I mean,
That sounds like a terrible idea.
it's really weird because I would feel that he's more the main character, but they don't. But the way they divide up the screen time is a little odd.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in one version of the script he was a little bit more. Maybe he was more the main character until they got Kurt Russell on board, and then it kind of shifted. And it's like, well, we got Kurt Russell. We need to have like a lot of Kurt Russell in here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Kurt Russell's clearly the main character. The movie's telling us that he's the main character, but he also has like the least amount of stakes for going out there to do this. I do like that they made this like the smartest character is Lily Simmons' character, but in everything they basically are just in every movie that or show that I've seen her in, they basically are just showing her off. She's nude, sex scene, and that's how it starts. So I did like when they're like, we need you to go get O'Dwyer to take care of this man, and it ends up being her who's the smart doctor character. And then
I mean, it's also implied too, like to go back to her thing that it's like all the men in the movie are stupid, in that even when Kurt Russell's in the town and the mayor and his wife show up to talk about, what we heard people were kidnapped, what's going on, and Kurt Russell like just doesn't even talk to the mayor because he's like, that's a waste of time. I'm just going to talk to the wife because she's the one that's actually in charge. Like, but no one would actually vote for a woman to be the mayor of the town, so the husband has to be the mayor, and he pretty much seems like he's an idiot and doesn't know anything. He's just like, how do you spell troglodytes for the telegram?
yeah, I mean, I would say that the women probably aren't represented very well in this movie at all. I'm not surprised. Like Kurt Russell's wife is fine, but she's pretty much like, I'm going to step out of the room while the men talk, and you got to do what you got to do. And then like the mayor's wife, who seems to be completely in control of the mayor, is like, she has power, but it's also like, I feel like this movie is more so saying like more about the mayor. Like it's a shitty mayor because he lets his woman tell him what to do. That's kind of the message that the movie portrays. But yeah, I mean, I guess overall the dialogue is, I think it's written like it's way too clever, and it should have been for the most part like maybe broadened up a bit, made to seem a little bit more natural, or like had one character specifically that had like the weird quips and stuff that they would say, but almost every character had some weird, very well written dialogue. Like I don't know. They did get a
Like
good
Richard Jenkins, it's always like, it's the opinion of the backup deputy that
yeah. I think, and then it's funny too because like I said before, Kurt Russell and I think Richard Jenkins like really, really fit the story well. And then like some people like Sid Haig was okay, but like David Arquette like really doesn't fit too well in this world. Matthew Fox doesn't seem to fit too well in this world, and even Patrick Wilson doesn't seem like he belongs in this world at all.
some people just aren't made for westerns.
No, they're just like
they can't get it.
They're like the Jimmy Stewarts or something. And
I do really enjoy some of the comedic moments, especially like early on too. Though with the piano player is a good one where he's like looking at the sign and it's like 3 cents for one song, 6 cents for two songs, 10 cents for three songs, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. It got more expensive if I asked for three songs. Shouldn't it get cheaper? And he's like, I don't feel like playing 3 songs, man. That's why you got to pay me extra for the
Yeah, I'm pretty
third one.
tired by that third song.
Yeah, I'm tired for that third song. You got to pay me extra. And then even when he gives him, he drops the dime in. He's like, I know what a dime sounds like. And then he like flips a sign over, and it's like starting fee is 1 drink.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of that stuff where it wants to breathe and like linger and world build, but at the same time, like it's a very weird point when they're doing this part of the movie because you don't know who's important because it just started with these thieves and murderers who ended up, killing and robbing people, and the one guy's on the run. David Arquette's character's on the run, and then it basically goes to. I feel like, do we see Kurt Russell before we get into the bar? We're being introduced to a lot of characters very fast,
No, I think we have stuff in the bar, and then it goes to Kurt Russell and Richard Jenkins.
and we already have Patrick Wilson and Lily Simmons stuff
Yeah,
because they're established before they go over to be like, yeah, we shot this guy.
yeah,
I mean, they do make some cool choices. I like the scene with the Mexicans, but I also feel like they don't follow through like entirely because like Richard Jenkins' character goes over to see if the second guy had a gun, and I guess he didn't because like later Richard Jenkins' character is saying something about like you really shouldn't have shot that guy. And I think he would have said something along the lines of like, "Oh, you were really right about that." But yeah, what they said I mean, also too, you almost think that they should have just made Matthew Fox's character like good at tracking people and following them back to their cave or wherever they were from. Because like as far as my understanding is the professor must have vaguely told him where he thinks they would be. And
yeah.
that's like, what if you traveled 5 days and he was just like entirely wrong?
He's like, I don't know. I thought that's where they were. Yeah,
Uh,
maybe they're nomads. Maybe they move all around.
Yeah, they're so funny too. Like even the beginning is I think it would be more comical with more comical actors, but I do like them getting to like the Indian barrel site and and like David Arquette's like, I don't think that we should mess with this. And Sid Haig's like, hell yeah, we should just stomp right through the middle of the whole damn thing. That's what we should do. And I'm like, that's so dumb. I also did really like in the beginning too, and it's said throughout the movie from numerous other characters. The dumbest people are always the one that are always focused on how civilized they are. They're like, we're civilized.
Oh yeah.
We're civilized people. Those fucking murdered people. We're pretty civilized people. We can deal with whatever the hell, it's coming our way. Also, they got their money's worth with Kurt Russell growing his beard for Hateful Eight. Because I know they shot this around the same time, so maybe that was part of it. They met Kurt Russell and they're like, "Don't shave that beard. We need you to keep that
Yeah,
beard."
yeah. Just keep it. We can't lose that.
I think they toned it down a little bit, but it's still a pretty impressive.
The mustache is still pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beard's a little shorter, but the mustache is still there.
I do think that this movie might turn off people if they're not fans of the horror genre. Hey, it might turn off people if they're not fans of westerns.
Yeah.
If you're really divided, like I don't like westerns, but I love 80s slashers. You might be like, "Oh, it took too fucking long to get into the gory stuff." And then the other way where you're like, "I was really enjoying that western until they started getting
So
real
that guy got cut in half.
The guy getting cut in half was like, that's where their money went. The money didn't go into paying these actors. It went into like probably that. I would assume that's probably like a $15,000 prop that they only could do once. They're like, we can only rip this guy in half one time, so it's got to count. Also, another continuity error there, Chuck. They rip Deputy Nick open, and then later when they go back, there's no like blood anywhere
on the ground.
there's
Yeah.
nothing on the ground at all. I also do like too where they like a couple of the troglodytes seem powerful and strong, and the way that they jail them, they like put up those beams and like pound it into the
Yeah, like the spikes into him, but Patrick Wilson's able to pull them out like no problem.
yeah, like
To
actually they
like
don't even
rescue him.
pound them in that well, but like Kurt Russell can't fucking with all his might knock the thing over. Also, I
He
do
was
kind of
tired.
like not everybody being like a great shot. Obviously, the best is apparently Matthew Fox. I mean, he gets cut off guard and more or less taken out. But like, I like Patrick Wilson whenever he takes his nap off the road, and then the troglodytes find him, and he somehow like he hears them before they get to him, and he's not like some Clint Eastwood just like wipes them all out. There's that funny part where like I think the guy probably goes to grab a bone tomahawk. I'm assuming, I can't remember, and he's got to like reload his gun because he missed like 90 like almost all of his shots that he took. Also, it's really funny to me too. I think like he takes the longer way. Like, he's literally like, I'm gonna go around the back. So he goes like in the back entrance where if there is a back entrance, did it make more sense to pull Kurt Russell's character and Richard Jenkins' character up into that cliff, like through the cliffside with rope? I don't know.
Yeah, it was quicker.
Quicker than taking them around by the burial ground and taking them to the back door. But yeah, at that point when he kills that guy and he takes his whistle thing out of his neck, and he's also like he's like shooting people and whistling, and it's like I get that they're probably like savages, but they're probably not the dumbest of people. That like they can't hear the guns are getting closer and closer, and the other people are just constantly like whistling, so they're like, oh yeah, it's okay.
Man, I do. I do like the ending. The ending works. You know, Kurt Russell has to sacrifice himself. He has to take out the last three, and I do I do like the implication, I guess, that Richard Jenkins should kill Patrick Wilson and his wife if he doesn't manage to kill the savages just to prevent them from being kidnapped again. Because he's like, when he goes to leave, he carries that big rock with him the whole time,
Mhm.
and then after they hear like the three gunshots, because they say they figure there's only three guys left. So they hear the three gunshots and they're like, "Oh, must be done now." And that's when he finally drops the rock. So it's like they never flat out say it, but I was like, I guess the implication is that he was gonna have to kill them if he never heard those gunshots and be like, "Well, I'm just gonna have to kill you guys to prevent I'd rather do that than you get kidnapped."
I thought he grabbed the rock because he that was his weapon. That was like the only thing he had to fight these guys off if they came
Man,
after them.
could be that too. And then he knows he's safe afterwards. I don't know. I thought I you could take it either way, I guess. I
It's a
took it
good
that he was
final
going to kill
shot
them.
though, because the
Yeah.
rock is we're safe. I think we're safe,
Yeah.
and drop the rock. I don't really feel like the savages would follow them. They had so many of their own people killed. I don't know. Maybe there is Tomahawk Part 2. We don't know. Maybe those babies are born and they're like, hey,
Bone Tomahawk 2, Bone Harder.
bone harder. They're like, we know where they killed our whole entire tribe, but they didn't kill the blind. I do like they're blind, pregnant, crippled women, and like them being blind as they have like bones or sticks like stabbed into their fucking eyeballs. They were blind. How do you know? Oh, I know.
Oh,
I
I know.
could
We could
tell.
tell.
I could
We
tell
could
they
tell.
were blind. Yeah, it's fun, and I think I enjoy all these movies. Like I for the most part, we don't get any modern day westerns, or we do, and they're too ambitious and they get they get canceled. I'm talking specifically about Kevin Costner's westerns.
Yeah.
He's not pulling Francis Ford Coppola. He's like, I'm not spending my own money. If I if I can't finish my story, I won't finish my
No,
story.
he's just given up.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been some like I didn't think the Magnificent Seven was very good. I wasn't huge on 310 to Yuma, but there are still some good ones, even though they might be slightly weird. I liked Slow West with Michael Fassbender, which has like a weird, almost like Wes Anderson type shootout at the end. But I'm surprised there isn't more westerns because like it's got to be pretty cheap to film a western. Like this movie looked great when they could only afford horses for like the first 20 minutes of the movie or whatever. You know,
Then they were like, we're not paying for those anymore.
that is 100%. I feel like we can't have horses the whole movie. They're gonna just get stolen. Did they say where they're at?
I don't think so.
Because
Like,
it has
I don't think it ever says like what state they're supposed to have been in.
it has like a heavily mountained like Utah type setting. But then like the Mexicans and stuff make me think like it might be closer to the border. I mean, you know what? If you're gonna make your western, make it vague. It doesn't have to be real places.
Yeah,
I mean, I think for what they did, I think they did a really good job. Like, you don't really get to see. There's no real western towns. You basically get the bar, the the sheriff's, the jail, and then a little bit of Patrick Wilson's like house and a barn, and then everything else is virtually like outside the entire time.
yeah.
Like, there's even a funny scene where they keep talking about this. I want to call it a telescope that Matthew Fox's character
German.
has. What is it?
They keep calling it the German,
Yeah, because this is like really fancy.
and because it's from Germany,
Yeah,
it's
made in
like, if you
Germany.
break it, are you going to Hamburg to get it?
There's a really funny part though where he's looking at it, and then he's like I can't remember what he's looking at. I think he's still on a horse at that point, and it's like not pulled all the way out, so it's bent. And like I'm like I would almost chalk that up as a mistake because I'm like he's like, oh, I see. I'm like, do you see? Can you see that far away? I don't think you can see. I don't think you have that thing all the way open. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird too because like you get the implication that possibly Patrick Wilson's going to lose his leg for doing this due to super tough. I guess like he goes through like the most physical pain probably of beyond the people that have died.
It's like a missed opportunity that like during the rescue, his leg should have got chopped off with a bone tomahawk, and just been like, whatever, just get rid of it already. It's only getting in my way.
Yeah, honestly, that could have been. I mean, it maybe wouldn't be as happy of an ending because like the ending of the movie implies that the troglodytes
I
are
mean, at that
done.
point, judging by old timey medicine, he'd probably have been better off having that thing cut off because he broke it like 4 times throughout the movie. It's like it's just there's just shattered pieces of bone in there at that point. It's like you might as well just chop it off and get rid of it.
Yeah, even like Kurt Russell's like to Richard Jenkins, like, is he gonna survive? And Richard Jenkins is like,
Like
man, I do
50-50.
amputations. Like, it's 50-50. It doesn't look good, but you never know. You never know with these things. Yeah, like I feel like he's gonna get all the way back, and they're gonna be like, and say the infection is gangrene now, and it's so bad that like it's in your abdomen, so you're dead man now. But yeah, and then it kept making me want to watch a much better movie, There Will Be Blood, because like when he has his broken leg, it makes me think of the beginning of that where it's like Daniel Plainview like had to crawl.
Daniel Plainview wasn't complaining this much.
Yeah, he had to crawl. He had to crawl how long through the desert to like get back to town with his gold. And yeah, Patrick Wilson's like, I don't know. I feel like some of it was a little bit too much. Like I felt like even like a quarter of the movie was just Patrick Wilson hurting himself again because he like tripped. And it is funny too when he wakes up. I think that's the point where he wakes up and he's gonna go like follow them to find out where they're at. And there's one shot of him like on the fucking like steepest hill,
Yeah.
and he's walking like not up the hill, not down the hill. He's walking like adjacent to the, like he's walking like straight. I'm like, dude is like just asking to fall down the goddamn hill. But yeah, I guess they really did put all their all into it, because they are falling on that ground, and I guarantee for the most part they are just literally just rolling and falling all over the ground and probably getting like fucked up by rocks and shit. Like whenever they were in the cave too, I was like, I hope this is a set. Like it does look like a set, but I'm also like, I don't know, maybe they did find a cave somewhere and they like just lit it. I feel like it's got to be a set though. But yeah, beyond that, I did enjoy it. I don't think there's any music in it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, not really. They couldn't afford a score.
They couldn't afford a score at all. I don't know. Sometimes that works though. But is it like No Country that doesn't have a score? There's like a couple times where there's just no score. It works so well. But then again, I mean, I know I just said that, but like I think it's something like Fargo, and I was like, that score is so fucking great for that movie. Yeah, and I never bought Bone Tomahawk. I watched it sometime after it came out, like around the time it came out, and I don't remember where. I don't know if maybe I borrowed it from you. Do you own it?
I do, but I don't think I ever loaned it to you.
I don't remember how the hell I saw this movie. Because I think it would have been after Hollywood Video was
at some point.
Yeah, I don't remember. This time I watched it on Disney, through my Hulu subscription. But I do like it's on Disney Plus. Starts the opening scene as they're like slashing a guy's throat, and
this is what Walt Disney would have wanted.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Hey, he was a big Kurt Russell fan.
Yeah,
the last thing he wrote before he died, he wrote Kurt Russell.
Wrote it or said it?
He wrote it. It was like on his planner, and no one knows why he wrote Kurt Russell. Like they were like, did he want to have a meeting with Kurt Russell? Like, what did he want to put him in a movie or something like that?
I hope he just thought it was
like the last thing.
I hope he just thought it was hilarious.
Or I mean, was he naming his killer? I know he died of cancer or something like that. It's like actually it was Kurt Russell that threw me out.
Russell. Yeah. That was something is like some wild ass name. You die, it's just like Jim Carrey, and like fuck you wrote Jim Carrey for? He's losing it. Losing his goddamn mind. But yeah, like I don't know. There's a lot of good moments in it. Like, yeah, the opening scene with Sid Haig, and he's like, you didn't cut all 16 of the nerves that are in the neck, and that's why the guy didn't die. And David Arquette's like, I don't think that's true. And he's like, I definitely know, because my friend's like brother's a doctor or something. But yeah, I'll have to watch the other ones, because it looks like when I say other ones, the other movies by this director. Oh, the biggest name I saw, I think, of the crew was Fred Raskin. And he was he's like Tarantino's new editor. And he edited The Hateful Eight. So I wonder if that's a connection between these two movies for getting like Kurt Russell on it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Kurt Russell pulled him into it and was like, hey, can you get Tarantino's editor? Yeah, sure. I'll bring Fred. Everybody, thanks for listening, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks with Chuck's next pick. We're Cinema D'Amore. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with news and information on upcoming episodes. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, Alexa, or iHeartRadio. It would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to our podcast on your platform of choice. We also appreciate feedback, so rate us, review us, and let us know what you think. And above all else, thank you for listening.